Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Bhaskar Vlogs and Technology. Friends, my name is Bhaskar Sharma and I have overall 10 plus years of experience in a MNC company. Currently I am working as a Azure Data Engineer. So in today's video, I will show you how to create an Azure Data Factory in Azure Portal step by step. Okay. If you are planning to become an Azure Data Engineer and preparing for any certifications or just starting your cloud journey, so this video is perfect for you. So I have already covered how to log into the Azure portal, okay, and how to create a resource group, okay. So you can watch my previous video, okay, configuring Azure Data Factory. Today I will show you how to create Azure Data Factory. So understanding its important settings and successfully deploying your data factory. Okay, so without wasting any time, let's get started. Okay, so I have opened this Azure portal. I have already logged into the Azure portal. So in Azure portal you can search here data factories. Okay, you can see here data factories or type it here data factories. It will show here data factories. Okay, so I will show you step by steps how to create a data factories. Okay, first you have to log into the Azure portal, then search on the top bar Azure Data Factory, then here you can see create button, right? Data factories create. So I am using currently Azure free subscription. Okay, then I have to select the Azure resource group. So resource group, how to create a resource group, I already in previous lecture, if you didn't watch that video, that watch it, how to create the resource group. Okay, I have already resource group, so I will select resource group. This is my resource group. Then instance details, name, region and version. Okay, this is the importance. So region, always choose the nearest Azure region only. Okay, so first I will create this one data factory name. Data factory name, enter a unique data factory name. Okay, like data Bhaskar as Azure DF. Azure DF. Okay, pass Azure DF. Then I am selecting the region is Central India. Okay. See, sometimes since I am using this free subscription, sometimes it may show some means issue also that okay. So if you are unable to select the Central India, then you can go with anything. Okay, East US also, East US also, you can go with that. And version will be V2 only. Okay, then click next. Here let it be here configure git letter. So it is by default it is selected, let it be like this. Next is networking. Keep the default networking settings unless your organization require private networking. Okay, so it is that public endpoint, let it be like this. I'll not select anything here. Then go to the advanced. So for advanced also leave the default settings only. Okay, I am not selecting anything here. Then go to tags. Tags is actually it is optional. Okay, so you can add tags such as like environment, dev environment, then project equal to data engineering. So tags helps organize Azure resources. So if you want, you can add. This is optional only. Then next is review and create. So just review all the options. Okay, so running final validation, just wait here. So once validation is done, so it will show below. You can see that create button. Okay, so I'm able to see the create button below now. Just click on that. Here subscription is my free subscription, resource group. This is the resource group name, data factory name, region and version. Then create it. So initializing deployment. So now we'll discuss what is ADF. Okay, it is deployment in progress. Okay, it is succeeded, it is completed. Okay, then go to the resource. Okay, it will take some times, it will show here only. Okay, see this one, you can see here first Azure DF we have created, right? Click on that, launch studio. Follow each steps carefully. Okay, so your data factory is ready now. Okay, there are multiple tabs are there, so we'll discuss it later. Okay, so guys, what is Azure Data Factory? Azure Data Factory is a cloud-based data integrations and orchestration service provided by Microsoft Azure. It is used to build, schedule and monitor data pipelines that move and transform data between various on-premises and cloud data sources. It supports ETL and ELT workflows and integrates with services such as Azure Blob Storage, Azure SQL Database, Azure Data Lake, Azure Databricks and Azure Synapse Analytics. Okay, so this is the simple definitions of Azure Data Factory. So guys, now we'll see some why do we need Azure Data Factory? Because organizations often store data in many different systems. Okay, so ADF helps by automating repetitive data movement. Okay, then reducing manual work and human errors. Okay, then integrating data from multiple sources. Next, building scalable ETL and ELT pipelines. Okay, supporting clouds on premises and hybrid environment. So that is why we need Azure Data Factory. Okay, so main uses of Azure Data Factory is like, what are the main uses of Azure Data Factory? We'll see now. So first one is number one, data ingestion. Okay, so collect data from different sources. Examples like SQL Server, Oracle, MySQL, PostgreSQL, Azure SQL Database, Azure Blob Storage, Amazon S3, Google Cloud Storage, REST APIs, Salesforce, SAP, Excel, CSV, JSON and Parquet. Okay, so next is 2 is data movement. Copy data from one location to another. Okay, data movement, generally copy data from one location to another. Example like SQL Server to Azure SQL Database. Then it may be blob storage to Azure Data Lake. Okay, then it may be REST API to SQL SQL Database. Then it may be Amazon S3 to Azure Storage. So this is done using the copy activity. So now next, third point, data transformation. Okay, so ADF can transform data using mapping data flows. Okay, this is the low code transformations. Okay, then Azure Databricks. Next, Azure Synapse Analytics. Okay, Azure Functions, Store Procedure, then SD Insight. So ADF can transform data using with these options. Okay, for example, like remove duplicate records, filter rows, join multiple data sets, next rename columns, aggregate data, convert data types. These are some examples. So number 4, workflow orchestration. So ADF coordinate multiple activities in the correct order. Okay, examples like copy customer data. Okay, then validate the data, then run a Databricks notebook. Okay, then load transform data, then send an email if the pipeline fails. So ADF coordinate multiple activities in the correct order. Okay, next is number 5 point, data scheduling. Okay, data scheduling. So data scheduling run pipelines every hour, every day, weekly, monthly, at a specific time when a file arrives. Okay, using supported event-based triggers. This is the data scheduling. So next point, number 6 point, ETL and ELT pipelines. So ETL means what? Extract, transform and load. Extract data, transform it, load into the destinations. Okay, then ELT means extract, load and transform. Extract data, load first, then transform later using services like Synapse or Databricks. ADF support both approaches. Okay, both approaches it support. ETL also, ELT also. Okay. So next point, 7 number point is hybrid data integration. Okay. Hybrid data integration. So ADF can connect to on-premises SQL Server, cloud database and private network using a self-hosted integration runtime. Okay, so this makes it useful for organization migrating to Azure. Okay, next point is monitoring. ADF lets you monitor pipeline runs, view activity status, then check execution time, then review error details, then retry failed activities. Okay. Next is data migrations. 9th is data migration. So move data from on-premises to Azure, Azure to Azure, AWS to Azure and GCP to Azure. So this is common during the cloud migration project. And number 10 point, I'll write here 10 point, automations. So number 10 point is automations. So instead of manually copying files every day, so ADF automates the process using pipelines and triggers. Okay, so these are some steps. Okay, so core component of Azure Data Factory is like pipeline. So pipeline is a logical grouping of activities. Okay, so then what is the activity? Activity is a single task such as copying data or running a notebook. Then what is the data set? These are some components. Okay, data set define the structure of the data you work with. Link services stores connection details for data sources and destinations. Okay, Then integration runtime, the compute and connectivity infrastructure that moves data and execute activities. Then last one is trigger, start pipelines on a schedule in response to events or manually. So these are some basics component of ADF. Okay. So advantage of Azure Data Factory. What is the advantage? Cloud native and managed by Microsoft, support hundreds of connector. Okay, and it is scalable for large data volumes. Okay, low code environment experiences, and secure with Azure identity and networking features, support ETL and ELT both. Okay, easy scheduling and monitoring, integrates well with Azure services. So guys, in interview also they will ask this questions. Okay, what is the Azure Data Factory and what are the different components? Okay, so this is very important. So that's it guys. So you have successfully created on Azure Data Factory in the Azure Portal, and next class will explore this, all the options, remaining option we'll explore. Okay, we'll see all the options, and in the next video we'll learn all the options and explore all these things. If you found this tutorial helpful, please like the video, share it with your friends and colleagues, and subscribe to Bhaskar Blogs and Technology for more Azure Data Engineering, Azure Data Factory, SQL, Databricks, Python and career focused tutorial. If you have any questions, leave them in the comment and I will be happy to help. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video guys. Bye.